Hello everybody, Happy New Year's. Welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to be learning how we can make animations in Scratch. So they are pretty simple and easy to do. What you are just going to pretty much need is costumes and sprites and events. So let's go ahead and get into it. So pretty much how we can animate in Scratch is we can pretty much use our sprites to go and move wherever. We can use the events to tell them when to do certain things. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So we have our Scratch Cat here, which has a basic walking animation. So let's go ahead and add maybe another sprite. Let's see, do we have a tree? Let's see, tree. We do have a tree. So what if we put a tree here? And I'm going to go ahead and choose a backdrop like this. So I'm going to put a tree there, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just to make it more realistic. So we have our tree there. We have our cat here. So here are some things we can do to make an animation. So for instance, we can say when flag is clicked, and we can have it go right here, which is where it already is. And then we could say, maybe, we'll glide 5 seconds there. And if you push play, as you can see, there it goes. There goes the Scratch Cat walking. But also, it's not actually animated. The position is updating. However, you don't see this. You don't see a walking animation. So how can we do that? Well, there are a couple different ways. We can use events to tell it, start moving and then stop moving. Or we could use a variable to tell the sprite when it's walking or not. So for instance, if we have a variable called walking, we can say set walking to true, and we'll just do T for true and F for false. So T for true, F for false. If we use our events, we can go when flag is clicked forever, and we can do an if then and else, and we can go to operators and grab an equals, and we can say if walking equals true, and again T and F for true or false. We can say if walking equals true, and then what we can do is we can say, and since we only have two costumes here, we can just do next costume. We can say next costume, and we're gonna wait like 0.15 seconds, and then else we can just set it to costume 1. And as you can see here, watch. There we go. Now our cat is animated. It's walking over to the tree. Once it gets there, it stops moving its position and it stops moving its costumes. So there you go. You've already created a simple animation there. But if we want to get into more complex things, like maybe we want to have characters that can talk, we can say, what we could do is, one thing is you could definitely have it all in just one big clunk of code. We'd say, hello, you know, I am Scratch Cat. So there you go. It says, I am Scratch Cat. But what if we want, maybe something to fall from the sky and hit the cat? Let's say we have an apple fall from this tree. We can actually make the tree a little bigger. There we go. There you go. So what if we want an apple to fall from the tree and hit the cat? So I'm going to put this up there a bit. So we can say when flag is clicked, so we got our apple. We can say when flag is clicked, and I'm just going to make sure it stays right here as soon as the flag is clicked. But also, what you should do is hide the sprite. All right, so show and hide is going to be a lot of blocks that you use most commonly for when sprites are not ready to be used in your animation. So you can, once the animation starts, you can go ahead and hide it. And what you can do is you can do this. You can go into the sprite, and then what you could do is go to events. And this is where we're going to start making use of our broadcast block. All right, this is where you tell other sprites that it is time to do something. So for instance, we could say fall apple. All right. And here you can say when I receive fall apple, what you can do is you can show the sprite, and and I'm not going to be making too advanced physics here. You don't have to. You know what? I'm gonna, because why not? So I'm real quickly. I'm going to go ahead and speed ahead on this code and make some physics for once the apple actually falls and hits the cat. Um, but yeah, so here we go. You are welcome to copy that code once I'm done if you'd like to, if you're following along, but you can also make it do whatever else you want. All right, so I just finished some of the animation code here, or the physics code, I should say, for the apple. So pretty much what it does is, let me do a rundown here. So when it receives fall, so pretty much when the cat here is telling our apple to fall, what it's going to do is it's going to quickly reset the velocity, the x and y velocity for our sprite. It's going to go up here, and then it's going to show, and then forever, it is, if it's touching our cat, it is this, pretty much what this does here is it bounces the apple off the sprite. And then if it's touching the edge, so over here, it will hide. And then this is pretty much changing the physics. So it's telling the x and y to be changed by these variables here. And this is pretty much just updating the values of the variables. So again, here we have our broadcast. So this broadcast is pretty much saying for this code here to run. And if we actually run the entire animation project, watch. Hello, I am Scratch Cat. And then wait, and then here comes the apple, doink, and it bounces off. So as you can see, we now have some different events that take place. And what we can also do is say, maybe we want a noise to play. So we could say in our backdrops here, what if we find something like, do we have bounce? No, we don't. I don't know what,
Boing.
boing? That sounds like a pretty good something.
Boing.
So what if we are like, we could do this. We can say, when I receive fall apple, but also, you know, we need to know when the apple actually hits the cat. So we can do another event. So we could say, if touching sprite 1, and we could say apple, let's do this, apple hit player. And then when I receive apple hit player, and we will just play our noise. And so let's watch. And if we did this right, it should play that noise when the apple hits the cat.
Boing.
Yes, there we go. So it works just as we wanted it to. So yeah, as you can see, we pretty much have a very basic and simple animation. So you can make use of these different events here to do different things with the animations. The broadcast and receive are going to be some of your biggest things by telling it, all right, so broadcast a message, and when something receives that message, do, whatever code you want it to do. So, yeah, that's really the basics to how to make an animation in Scratch. And I'd love to see some of the animations you guys come up with. So feel free to send them down in the comments below. That'll be it for this tutorial, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.